So allow your feet to touch. Bring everything to the center. Pull your head top up. Bring your hands together in the center. Take a deep breath. And then micro-calibrate. So pull the head top up, relax your brow, open your eyes, let your vision go all the way to the horizon. And keep the tongue connected to the upper palate. Relax your jaw. The chin is tucked, meaning it's not going up or jetting forward. Relax your shoulders. Leave the space in the armpit, hollow the chest. The arms are round. Center is supporting. The tailbone, instead of being up, relaxed. The back, instead of being squished, open and sunk. The tailbone, imagine if the tailbone has a curve, that curve is pointing towards your toes. So make a connection from your tailbone to your toes so that you can really relax and extend, keep extending the spine. Insides of the hips are folding. We're lifting the perineum, the bottom of the torso when we're breathing. Grip the toes. We're going to make like a suction cup with the foot on the ground. You can make that sound effect too if you like. And then the point, activate the point bubbling wells on the sole of the foot. So using the toes to grip. And then today to stretch. I don't want to spend a lot of time today stretching. So from this posture alone, turning, grip your feet and don't turn your knees. Because we're doing this as our full body stretch, I want you to put your mind inside of your body. So breathing deep. And when you start to feel, grip your feet, when you start to feel your ankles turn, don't allow them to turn more. When you start to feel your knees turn, lock them so they don't turn more. The same thing, once the hips start to reach where they're affecting the joint set below, lock that, but continue the spiral upwards. So you can imagine, for any of you that have worked with a hardware, a screw, the shape of a screw, you can imagine the bottom of it, the flat part at the base and the pointy part at the top. The spiral continues to go at the top, so have a strong base. The shape of the screw, oftentimes wider for a particular type of screw, wider at the base, and then resolving at a point at the top. And so make that point at the top turning far above your head. While you're doing this, keep the mind in the dantian. You'll find that you can make the micro adjustments. Turn at your own pace, by the way, as I turn. I'm talking. Also with the hand placement, don't sort of tilt or slide your hands. Keep the hands in front of the sternum so that your sternum is turning the correct amount. And then your shoulders, your neck, your head, your eyes continue to turn more. So pull the head top up, relax the shoulders down. So today we're going to focus on the center line, on your spine alignment. So for this exercise, as you turn, continue to pull up. So imagine keep working, I'm changing, but imagine you have a towel and you want to take the towel and wring it. So you start to twist, but you also want to pull in both directions. So the same thing with the feet, stably locked to the ground. Pull your head top up as much as you can while you're twisting. And by the way, all of this should have a sort of gentle pressure. the idea that we follow in the Mandarin Tao Yin, sometimes translated as like a soft yoga or soft way. So the same thing, don't overexert yourself. That's, if your practice makes you worse, what's the benefit? So use just one activity to open the full body. If you imagine your body as one piece, like the Tao. Most of my classes are spent trying to get the Tai Chi practitioner into a space of their body being just one thing. There's only one you, and it's not separated. We just talked about wringing a towel. A towel just has one piece. But humans, we like to separate and say, oh, I have a head, and I have a neck, and I have arms. In this exercise, I want you to forget all of that and just imagine. In fact, imagine that you're made of your favorite food. Imagine you're some type of, could be a gummy bear if you want. Maybe it's too early for gummy bears in the morning. Imagine that your body's made of one material and that you want to turn it and twist it. By the way, you can, with this exercise, you can feel the breathing accentuating the stretch, because we're only doing one thing. We have one posture. We have one movement. So the breathing should be clear on how it affects the stretch if you inhale to the maximum while you're turned to the maximum. Come back to the center, relax, take a break. So as I just got done saying, I spend most of my time, let's do a little bit of standing. What I want you to feel, if you make your feet shoulder width wide, pull your head top up, relax your shoulders, and bring your hands out in the front like you're holding a circle. Really relax your shoulders. Imagine you have to carry something very heavy for a long time, and so you want to just allow your arms to relax, almost like a shelf. But if you watch here, we don't want them to collapse. We just want them to be relaxed. And so some Tai Chi practitioners recommend standing for a long time before you practice Tai Chi. And for anyone viewing at home, watching on YouTube, standing meditation practice is something that I recommend. What it does to the chi, what you can do with your breathing, your mind, your aligning your body while we're here. Don't just melt into this one. Instead, have the power going up, pushing up to the top, but don't raise the, I'm trying to exaggerate for the camera, keep your tailbone really sinking down there. And then the same feeling with the arms. They're not just here, they have power, but you're completely relaxed. And so from here, take your arms and allow them to go to the sides. Just allow them to hang naturally to the sides. And so we're going to focus entirely today on the center line. Like I said, most classes we're trying to get a sense of the holistic feeling of just one body. You have one center, one dantian. Here, we're going to divide the body. I want you to think about your spine. And we're going to do the same exercise, but now the feet are separated. And so pull your head top up. Forget about your arms and shoulders. Just imagine from your waist to your head top is just one thing, like a post. And you can completely allow your arms to go on vacation. So This is also our qigong, our warm-up. So I want you breathing at the same pace that you're turning. I want you gathering energy while we do this seemingly simple exercise. What's the purpose? As I said, normally, by the way, when we're doing this, don't turn your knees. Even more challenging when the feet are not connected. So feel there's a certain part where your hips, where it will lock, and then you're just turning your spine. So I don't want you to injure your knees. If you feel any sensation in your knees, that means you have to stabilize them and dial back the amount of turning that's happening there. You should not feel your knees. If you feel your knees, center everything again. So what's the purpose? One purpose is, this is a time, if we want to talk about space weather, or even just a regular weather, this is a time in the spring when things are growing, building, people busy, doing things. And so everybody has their hands mashing away at the computer, doing all kinds of stuff. So today, take your completely, from your center line, from your neck outwards to your arms, to your fingertips, offline, and focus entirely on the center. If you like to imagine, you can be a bird like an ostrich, right? Ostrich has they have like a big center, and then the spine, head and neck comes all the way up. So keep stretching the head top. Forget that you even have arms. Take them completely offline. And we're going to practice Tai Chi the same way. We're going to practice Tai Chi, some today with very small movement with the arms, and then some with none. So turning around the center, pull the head top up. By the way, I'm going to change to face camera. My feet are actually parallel. Because the camera has a type of warp on it, make sure your feet are parallel. And the reason I'm doing this is for my own, so I can gauge how far I can turn. When I'm at an angle, I keep trying to turn further in one direction. So you can do this as well. My teacher, TC, was very interested in results. He wanted to know if something was useful and gauge how much success that we were having from something. So as you turn, when you turn, make a note of the furthest thing that you can see and where your vision lands. And then each time you turn, keep breathing, doing the deep breathing. Each time, look and make a note. Can you turn even just a fraction more than you turned last time? Because that's improvement. And the only person that we're competing with is ourselves. And we can even compete with ourselves from 1 second ago. So keep breathing, forget your arms. Stretch that spine out. I want you to focus on your back and your center line. Turn your eyes inside their sockets to energetically increase the stretch. And you can turn the chakra on top and even the energy above to increase the momentum, the stretch, the feeling of the turn, the length of the energy turn. So keep breathing. By the way, go at your own pace. And we're focused on the center line. Come back to the center. Relax. So one of the things that we can look at as part of this exercise is practicing the Tai Chi form with no arms. What would be the purpose of that? Well, if we want to talk about martial arts, what if we're in a situation we can't use our hands? They're constrained, right? Perhaps we have a handcuff in the front or the back, something like this. Can we still move and get out of the way? Can we still maintain our posture and do the correct footwork? We're going to actually look at a few postures. Horizontal split hands is a fun one to do with no hands. If something is coming on top of you this way, can you actually catch it with your body, turn and throw it in a different direction. So this will be a unique practice, and also achieving the balance from too much work, too much doing things, right? And taking your arms offline and using your center for the correct thing. Let's actually continue to warm up and stretch a little bit. Grip your toes, and this pushing the tailbone back and away. The same thing, leave your arms completely offline. If you don't want them touching the floor, you can rest them on the top of your shoes. If you don't want them actually doing that, you can just hold your own elbows. And the same thing, feel your center line. Remember to breathe. Really relax your head and neck. Keep doing the stretch. A lot of times we want to look up to see. In this case, just do the stretch. Remember to breathe. Relax the back until you feel the blood moving. Grip the toes, and then unroll the spine. The same thing. And here we're not lifting the arms up. Normally we do this big movement, but we're just here. I want you to feel the spine. Focus on just this center line, basically the width of the face, head, and neck down through the center here, and let all of this stuff from the shoulders and out completely relax. Let's do another one of those, same thing. So use your abs, relax your arms, head, neck, let everything hang. See if you can allow your crown chakra to point all the way to the ground. And the same thing, feel in the center of your back where your tailbone is, like you can pull that point towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and fold yourself just slightly more, allow it to be more relaxed. Remember to breathe while you're upside down. And then when you're ready, grip your feet, unrolling your spine, forget your arms. Focus entirely on your center line. Pull that all the way up. And then relax. I do want to stretch the legs a little bit because we are not using our arms today. We're going to be using our legs. So you can use your arms a little bit for this next one if you need to balance. Shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep, right? You can take a square step, sink so that you're sitting your tailbone over your heel. You should feel nice and stable. You can use this hand on this leg. Do the stretch. Straighten your spine. Remember to breathe. Pull this toe up towards your nose this way. Make it as straight vertical as you can. Remember to breathe. Push your tailbone back and away, sinking down. And if you feel unstable or when you're finished, just push on the rear standing foot forward. Breathing as you come up. We're going to change. We're going to do the other side. By the way, this kind of leg stretching you can do every day. So, shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Really crease the inside of the hip to maintain the toe, knee, hip alignment, sitting directly down over that heel, and then straighten your spine. Either push your chin or push your crown. Either way, pull the toe up, breathe deep. Grip your standing foot. Don't let that shape collapse. Keep the same triangular shape inside your foot. Breathe deep, push forward, relax, take a deep breath on your way up. Let's do the same thing on the other side again. Now that you have some idea for your standing foot, keeping that power, you have a new idea. So let's practice it. Shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Grip that standing foot and then keep it gripped. So keep that shape. Don't let it collapse. Keep it gripped the whole time. And then the same, push your chin or your head top. Pull the toe up. Are you still gripping the standing foot? Push forward. Or repeat one more on the other side. Breathing deep. Make the alignment correct. and then grip the foot. Keep the shape. When you're ready, step forward, breathe, change. By the way, this is something that takes a beginner level practice to the next level, is realizing when we do Tai Chi together and we say grip your feet and extend your head top and straighten your hips, make them level, right, and make sure that they're lined up correctly. When we practice basic posture, it's easy. But when we get ourselves into a different type of situation where we start, if we're doing, we've been talking about needle to bottom of the sea, a snake creeps down, needle to bottom of the sea, or dibuhua, fold knees down, right? Are you still gripping if we punch the feet? So today we're taking the arms offline, keeping the legs, the feet correct anytime we change. Back to the center line. So let's actually do just the first section. And because of the space, we're going to do just the first section without the extra Bon La Shui. We're just going to do one set at the end. But I want to examine the form without using the arms. By the way, for experienced people here, you don't have to say anything. You can just show of hands. How many here have you ever done this before with TC or anybody else? Practice the form? No? Okay. So by the way, this is a type of, while I'm talking, let's do a little bit more standing. So like you're going to do circle standing, like you're holding the tree, but you're forgetting the tree. In the translation from Mandarin, sometimes called pile or post standing, right? We have like a post that's in the ground. Some teachers teach feet together, some teachers teach hands together, some teach shoulder width wide. Here, in this one, it's the same, but I want you to forget your arms. We're going to focus entirely on this structure. And maybe before we do Tai Chi, we can do a different type of exercise to get you into the right mindset. So while you're standing here, imagine that your body is a mechanism, like a machine, right? And it's a structure, kind of like maybe a construction machine, or like if you see they have an oil rig out at the sea, has like a platform, right? And that's your pelvis is this platform upon which we have this center post. And then the legs, sort of like the hydraulic, when they have the bulldozer that like plants down, and they have like a mechanical foot, and then once that one's steady, the other one goes, and then that plants down, right? So we're going to use the legs like a type of hydraulic pistons to support this platform. And then on top of that, we have this type of mechanical tube, right? And let's use that in X-stepping before we do Tai Chi, right? So we have in the center, we have this one, and then we're going to start moving it. So again, this is practicing X-stepping, completely forgetting your arms. And this adds a different sort of layer of challenge to balance. If we do some balance together, if we do Jinji Du Li, and we have our hands out while we're here, we have more surface area on top to help with the balance, right? This we can see from the circus, right? If they have tightrope walker, they have a big stick that they use to balance, the larger the surface area. So the same if you're balancing something, a single stick is more difficult to balance than an umbrella, because the umbrella has all that surface area up there to catch the air and translate micro movements out here at the edge into the center. So now try the same thing, Jinji Du Li, without using your arms, right? I want you to imagine just the mechanical setup we said earlier. Your pelvis is the platform. Your standing leg becomes a mechanical hydraulic, and your center line like a cable that comes up off the platform. And then if you have the the type of balance, we can try something even more extreme. In the second section, we have this kind of kick. Try this without the arms. It's more challenging, right, to kick. So bring your knee up level and then just extend. You can do the heel or the toe, right? But without the arms, it's a different challenge. So the same thing when we're X-stepping, right? We have these arms. We don't realize how much force they're adding to our center line. So today, let's practice something different. From your center, stepping back. Keep your head top up there. Stepping forward, shoulder width wide. Center. You can let your arms just relax to the side. I was keeping them back there for dramatic effect. Okay, so we're going to do the same X-stepping. But this time I want you to imagine that you have something, I'm looking for something that I can put on something that's on a string. Imagine, if you will, in your mind, you have one of the analogies that I used to teach was, if you know what a feather duster looks like, it's got a handle, and then at the base, it's so that you can clean the blinds or areas that have lots of detail. And then imagine that you take a string, and I should get a feather duster and a string, and you keep the string high enough just so that the very, very bottoms of the feathers touching the ground. And then you take the string and you want to move it so that this part doesn't disconnect from the ground, stays touching the ground. The same feeling when we're practicing X-stepping with no arms, right? We have the shape is the same here, and then we have a handle, and the string is the chi that's going up there. So you want your energy pulling up as much as you can. And so now, instead of very accurately stepping into the corner and bringing your other foot, I want you to think more about the sensation if you were a puppeteer, if you were controlling where the, so the evolution of the idea from the feather duster is a dress, right? You can imagine, for people that are wearing a dress, you can imagine any type of dress that you want. And the same, if you have the hanger on a string, can you make it move? So when we do this type of X-stepping, we're not necessarily stopping in the corners, but we're trying to keep the momentum flowing in an arc so that we don't lose any, just like a calligrapher or painter. But now, again, forget your arms. Use your whole body as the brush. Pull the head top up. Keep the feet connected to the surface. And then make your X-stepping continuous. You can go at your own pace. Stepping back, center, forward, center, forward, center. take a break for a second. Let me see if I want to show you. We see this marking on the ground. We say X stepping, but it's not an X, right? It's more of this type of, like a loop. There's a clover on one side and there's a clover on another side. So your momentum is never lost. And there's actually an interesting, when we step back here, forward, we can forward. Here, the loop comes back around to this side. So this idea of carrying momentum happening everywhere, but you will improve your overall hands, sort of like the detail. If you don't have the legs and you don't have the spine, you're just going to be doing a lot of this. And the arms not very that powerful. They're only adding to the center. For real martial arts, this not nearly as strong as this, right? On my body. This pretty strong. Okay, this one right here, the waist, turning the waist, is where the power comes from, right? So let's do a little bit of Tai Chi with this type of X stepping that we had just practiced in mind. Relax your arms. For the commencement, we'll skip Tai Chi Harmony for today. And do we skip this one? Yeah, we're not using any arms. So pick a space. This is an exercise. So it's once again, also in the spirit of relax your activity, right? Take your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your fingers. Let everything rest. Take it all offline. Your legs strong, we can continue to work. So pull the head top up, relax the center. We're going to step shoulder width wide. And then can we make the spine do the movement of commencement without the arms? And the same thing when I turn grasp the sparrow's tail right. Step forward, ward off, left. And then grasp the sparrow's tail left. Step forward, ward off to the right. Breathing. Can I make my spine roll back? Turn back to the front. Press. Push. Shift back. Look left. Glance right. Double press with just your spine. Horizontal. Split hands. Hook. Single whip. Turning back to the north. This is split hands. Step, roll up, roll down, turning 90 degrees. Turn your feet accurately. Crane, bounce, step, open the wings, brush, brush, step forward, press. Square step back. Crane, step forward, open the wings, brush, brush, step forward, press. Oh, you know what? Sorry, let's take a break here. Take a deep breath, relax. I wanted to actually do this first section one time with a very, very small movement in the hands so that we haven't gone from zero to completely abstract instantaneously. We've got into a little bit of X-stepping. So let's go back and the same thing, but from here I want you to, if you put your elbows into your rib cage and you bring these hands together, this triangle in the center is where you're able to generate the most power. Somebody, if you've ever seen a TV show where they bend a frying pan or metal bar or something like that, here in the center ripping a phone book coming from this center area. So I don't want you to move your elbows further away of your rib cage than one hand width, right? So if you make a fist and put it in there, it should be there for today's exercise. And then your wrists can do all of the horizontal split hands and crane opening the wings. But I want your shoulders and arms so that we can, which this also, by the way, means that your hands staying in the center. This is a Tai Chi principle that we need to talk about, because hands being in the center, when I brush knee press, it shouldn't be out here. Maybe it feels like it's on a grid to be out here, but it's in the center. we're pressing to the center. We don't punch to the side, we punch right into the center line. So let's use this, we'll do the whole form sort of with this very, very small, just hand movements, and then we'll come back and do it again, more abstract with the legs. So, starting, relax your shoulders. If we do commencement, remember my elbows, just my elbows moving. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Ward off. Relax your shoulders. Keep your center line up there. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Ward off. Relax your arms. They can do the movement without using any effort, without any tension. Turning. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Split. Hook. Single whips, like being a T-Rex. Turn back to the north. Lift hands to up posture. Turn 90. Crane. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms. Think about your center line and the legs. Crane. Harp. Press. Brush knee. My center line is turning and twisting while it's straight. Press. Holding the moon in the chest. Very small movements. Relax your shoulders. We're going to do one set of ban lan shui. Corner. Parry. Punch. Roof on. Sleep. Turn tiger to mountain. Right, left. And bring everything back to the center.
Brian,
Yeah, go ahead.
this might be ruining the punchline, but can you give us an idea of what it is you're hoping we'll get out of this exercise by adding these constraints? Because right now I'm just feeling like the flow is all cut off for me.
Okay.
I can't.
So,
Yeah.
so what this is a bit of dissection. One of the things that I like to do is create the sort of flow, the holistic feel of the body. When we do fan through back, this shape between the arms, right, is connected to everything else. In this, I want you to have the feeling that your arms are gone, right? That you're part of some science fiction X-Files experiment where unfortunately all of our arms have been removed at the torso, right? It's very weird, it's very abstract, but it will give you a new sense of coordination with your spine and how it's working with the body. And also, when we practice Tai Chi, we want this all to be perfectly straight. But as we said, when we're using the stuff in nature, it may change, right? Our instinct may, instead of just keeping everything straight, be to move this way. So the goal is to help you focus more on your center line at whatever level you're at. This will be, if it's challenging for you, this will be exceptionally challenging for beginners that don't know the form. I'm sitting here calling out grasp the sparrow's tail, grasp the sparrow's tail, it's just steps, right? But I want you to feel, do you know the meaning of the posture? When power is coming in, could you do, with no arms, could you do grasp the sparrow's tail? Could you do a ward off? What would that be like with no arms, right? Because now, if you can add to your foundation of what a ward off is with no arms, how much more powerful will your ward off be when you add arms? I want to go back to the sort of foundation of what makes this strong practice. Is we have the platform, we have the hydraulics under it, and we have this sort of cable tower that can move around. The arms, useful, practical, but Chen Menqing would say the arms and the hands don't do the catch. He would say the body does the catch and the throwback. So I'm trying to get us into that mentality that the spine is being carried by the legs, because we can always, I think last week's class I talked about the hands, and I still have more details to talk about the hands. Chen Menqing's the delicate lady's hand, the shape, the relaxation and structure of it, right? There's more, so much, always more to talk about. But for this, I want to get us back to, you have two strong legs supporting this base, and what happens with the shoulders, what happens with the arms, is all resting upon our center line, the foundation of how strong that is. And I want us thinking more about that, right? That's what I'm trying to get. It may not be as beneficial for you. You may have a very high level of understanding, but as an exercise, we can always benefit. Is that?
It's not that, I mean, I can feel my body fighting against the constraint. Is this partly akin to the thing you used to have us do where we focused on a waist turn in every posture?
Yes, that is right. But there's another shape that can happen in the spine. The spine is very dynamic, and so when we're practicing Tai Chi, we say sink the tailbone, pull the head top up, and always keep it straight like this. But our spine doesn't always work that way. So if we take the arms out of the equation for what we're doing, we can look at the center line in a new way. So you don't have to do the constraints, by the way. If you want to practice, right, you can use your arms to your heart's content. When I rebroadcast these videos, it's nobody's in them but me. In fact, I try to cut the audio if anybody's names are mentioned, that type of thing, even my own. So you can practice any way you like. And another purpose for all of this sort of weird is I want you to be able to use the form itself as a means to learn the form. So practice the form in a different way to bring it back to your new way. And somebody recently was talking about, they have in breakdancing, they have the robot, right? Zzz, 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 this kind of thing. And you can practice the form that way. That's actually okay because it's your private practice. I don't always bring some of that stuff into the class. Here we're doing something from my own, right? And actually TC teaching this is not using the arms, using the spine. So the same, what if instead of doing the robot, you made all of the dots in the Tai Chi form linear? So it doesn't necessarily have to stop, but if I do grasp the sparrow's tail, can I do this? What if I just use paddle hands the whole time? Right? To break down what's the minimum number of points, right? Oh, I notice my spinal alignment because I'm trying to look at my hands. Oh, I need to correct that, right? We can use different ideas. So with this, let's do the form. Let's do it just one more time incorrectly with the constraint, and then we'll come back and we'll do the whole form. And if you like to practice the abstract way, you can. So let's. Is that more clear? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Hang in there. We'll change. So make sure you're on. If you're me, make sure you're on the camera. Pull your head top up, and then again, thinking about your legs, your central platform, the alignment of your pelvis, and then the main pillar. So we're going to open shoulder width wide, and this would be commencement. And from here, grasp the sparrow's tail. Looking forward, step forward, waist turn, ward off. Shifting back, look for the loop from the dantian, step forward to ward off. Roll back. turn forward. This would be where press is, so I shift back and forward. And then push. The same, shift from one foot. Zogu, shift back and turn. Yo, pan, turn. Shuang, on. Double press. Horizontal, split hands. Hook. Single whip. Shift, turn. This is split. Roll up. Turn 90. Crane. Opens the wings. Harp. Harp. Press to the center. Square step back. Bounce. Crane. Opens the wing. Harp. Harp. Press to the center. Brush knee. C-step. Press. Brush knee. C-step. Press. Holding the moon in the chest. And then we have Ban Na Shui. Corner. Expand. Punch. Rufeng. Sidi. Return tiger to mountain. Right. Left. Bring everything back to the center. Relax. So, to give another reason to sort of isolate the center line in this way is imagine that you're a painter and or an illustrator and you're making an illustration and you're designing it. If you do it in the traditional way with paints, sometimes they take an acetate layer so that they can build different. Their background is in a different sort of plane or layer than their midground, and they can add layers. In the digital world, they literally have different digital photographs that they stack on top of each other. So in this one, we're sort of removing the arms layer. That can be confusing for beginners and can be detrimental for experienced people to say, oh yeah, I know what's happening with my arms all this time. Great, that's cool. What about the center? So we're sort of zooming in on our foundation, what our center structure should be, something like that. Wow, are we already here? Okay, yeah, it's time telling us. Let's actually do the same thing, the Tai Chi form. You can practice any way you want. If you like to rest your arms and shoulders, I recommend that. If you like to practice the regular way, we'll go sort of practice speed. By the way, remember, when you're at home practicing on your own, you can practice at any speed you want. Because of time constrictions, we may have to start extending this class. I like to sort of hurry through it just to get through the exercise. So, that said, let's do more Tai Chi. Pick a space, bring your head top up, relax your tailbone, relax your shoulders, connect the tongue to the upper palate, lifting the base of the torso, gripping the toes, breathing. I'm going to do the hand movements. You don't have to do the hand movements. In fact, I recommend relaxing if you can. Shoulder width wide for commencement. Breathing. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Ward off. Left. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Right. Ward off. Roll back. Squeeze. Push. Left. Glance right. Double press. Split. Hook. Single whip. Turning north. This is lift hands to up, posture. Brush knee, C-step, press right to the center, breathing deep, brush knee, C-step, press, holding the moon and the chest. Banlan shui, corner, parry, punch, rufo, sabi. We're going to turn 90 degrees to the north. This is return tiger to mountain. Bring everything back to the center. Take a deep breath. Yeah, my encouragement is to practice the form in a different way, and if you can do something, perhaps you can discover a better exercise to go back to the foundation. Can we get it so that is there a way that we can even take the spine offline and focus 100% on the legs to see how strong they are? Yes, maybe, but we bring all of that back into the integrated practice. Let's actually close with some no-arm activity standing. So grip your feet, make sure they're at least shoulder width wide, and then we're going to do all internal qigong. So connect the tongue to the upper palate. Remember to be lifting the base of the torso and activating the toes and the energy spot at the center of the foot, bubbling wells at the correct place. And then focus the eyes off to the horizon. Even if you're inside, see as far as you can. Lifting the base of the torso while we're breathing. I want you to imagine, if you've heard of the microcosmic orbit, we're going to do something different. I want you to imagine your whole body. So energy coming up from the heels all the way up the back of the legs and extending over the head top, and then coming down the front, not just to the bottom or to the base of the torso here, but all the way down to the toes, so that that microcosmic orbit is actually doing the whole body. And then while you're breathing, I want you to see if you can not only feel that energy, but modify it. I want you to use your breathing and your imagination. My teacher would say, why do you imagine the acupuncture lines as a thin line? Because you saw that on a drawing, because you saw that on a diagram, something. He says, what if it's large and full, voluminous, right? And intangible shape, something, water, fire, not just a thin, the thin laser line is to help the student see where the base, where the most correct is. But imagine a wave coming all the way up over the back and crashing down the front. And you can make it out of any type of material, as noted, fire, water. What if it's heavy? With the breathing, feel the energy come all the way from the top back to the bottom. I'm moving my hands to show the movement of energy. Feel it internally. See if you can feel it externally. So this is the same. Why would we do a static meditation when we could do a moving meditation? Tai Chi is obviously superior to basic static meditation. It has the movement. But we can isolate. What is your structure here? Can you pull your head top even more? Like micro, fine laser adjustments. Can you even relax, make your relaxation even more fine-tuned, more profound? We're not moving, we're not focusing on anything else except the one thing. And this also is an example of how you can, in your own practice, discover a solution. With your energy still moving up the back, down the front, the whole body, put your mind into the dantian. See if your body readjusts by repositioning your mind. And if it does that while you're very relaxed and already in a good posture and it adjusts more, how much more so when your mind has been out of shape to return it back to the center and get your energy cycle all the way up the back and all the way down the front through the whole body. Keep your mind in the center. Take 2 more long, deep breaths. When you finish, bring your feet back together, and I want you to pool all of the energy after you do Qigong, meditation, Tai Chi. Bring everything back, and like a lake, once you drop a stone into the lake, the water has movement. Wait until the movement subsides. You can feel it internally. If you close your eyes, you can sense it internally. Later, you become very sensitive, and you can sense the movement of the other person's chi or the other organism, plant, animal, creature. You can feel the energy moving inside of them. So make your own chi calm in the center. Move your eyes looking at your center, and then make your focus on your center, and then take a second internally to have a gratitude practice to yourself. No one else has to hear it, but internally you have to hear it to yourself. Take a second to give thanks, have gratitude to yourself, for yourself internally. And then turning the focus of the eyes and the mind's eye down to the dantian, take a second to smile to yourself. It's telling us time is up. Have a great weekend. Call, text, write if you need anything.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.